We're back with another episode of Perfect Tattoo History. It's been a fucking while. Unless you've already seen the Joe Vegas one, then it's probably only been a month. So, fuck you. Anyway, this week is with, or month or year, is with someone I've known a very long time in tattooing. I actually went to art school with this fucker too. I know him since he was a fucking kid.
18 years old.
Yeah, kid. And he's definitely built his name for himself. Like these next few interviews are going to be with a couple guys from Philly. I think it's kind of important for me anyway to let people know, like, I'm not the only son of a bitch in Philly, and this is one of the good ones. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dickholes out there, and this guy's had my back for a long time. You know what I mean? And we've been through a lot of shit together. So, but both tattooing, musically, I mean, all kinds of crazy shit. So, but I remember when you started tattooing. You were tattooing in that fucking house.
I was tattooing at houses.
The apartment, right?
I was a nice house tattooer.
Anyway, it's Jason Goldberg. He owns and runs Old City Tattoo here in Philadelphia, down in Old City, and let's get to the beginnings.
Thanks for the non-dickhole.
Yeah, well, you know if you are, if you're not, you know what I mean. You'll own up to it.
There's probably a lot of people that disagree.
Fuck 'em. So you get started how?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I've known Eric, like he just said, since I was a kid. I was tattooing out of houses, doing everything the right way, because that's, come full circle. Everyone's tattooing out of their house now. I like to think of myself as a trendsetter.
Yeah, but the thing is, back then, like, nobody was giving us a fucking shot.
No, I went into every shop known to man.
Get the fuck out of here, you fucking
I would
prick.
go, get tattooed all over, just
and they still tell you
hang around for
out.
months, and they're like, nah.
Yeah, we're good.
Kick rock. Yeah, you know what? I get it though.
But there was a little more of that. We'd be making a little more money
Sure.
now,
So
what was that? Wait, what was the fucking the apartment there? It was like a Pine and
on Waverly Street.
It was like near Pine and Waverly, right? Mm-hmm. Right on that corner there.
Yeah, I was on Pine Street for a little while, and then I was.
Then right around the corner.
Around the corner. Yeah.
But I remember when Paul was there, Paul May,
yeah,
and,
sure.
and the whole crew of punk rock characters.
Everybody was,
this was a very subversive thing at one point. Now, I mean, tattooing's really fucking mainstream. I mean, I never thought I'd see it like this, but back then, I mean, like, fuck, I remember first getting a couple tattoos, and you go to a punk rock show or a metal show or something, I'd be like, yeah, well, I got this tattoo, and all these motherfuckers are these crazy tattoos. I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
But
I mean, I always was looking at the magazines and shit, when we were kids, looking at biker magazines, looking at all the tattoos, being like, well, that's what I'm gonna do.
Tattoos and titty shots.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, that's what else was there looking at?
Tits, tattoos, tit-toos.
Yeah, of course. So even back then, I mean, you were getting involved in music and art and just everything you were probably told not to do, you were doing.
Yeah.
And you're actually doing good at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you had people fucking getting tattooed. We're booking gigs, you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of cool shit going on at that time, you know what I mean?
I was lucky enough to, be in the right place at the right time, kind of in Philly in that setting.
Sure.
So we went to art school for, I don't know about you, I dropped out after, I was like, I thought, I was already tattooing at that time, and I was
having kids will make you want to do that.
Yeah. I was like, well, I'll get better at art, and then I'll get better at tattoo, and then we went, and it's just a fucking joke, so I just dropped out.
Yeah, that place was
continued onwards, but we met a lot of good people there. I like to call it that was like tattoo school, right?
It was tattoo. Fucking me and Adam Shields had we had a airbrush class together.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would say he had the dyed blonde hair then, remember? Mm-hmm. I'm like, who's this fucking pussy? But he ended up being a guy that worked for me. You know what I mean?
Smitty went to school with us.
Smitty, yeah.
Matt Brownlee, who works for me out in media. Who else was there? There was someone else there.
Who was that kid, Don? Remember he went from like skinhead to vampire to fucking 20 different things. Kept changing his identity. Mm-hmm. That knucklehead. So
I also get hit in the head a lot, so I don't remember too much of.
I'll hit you in the head. How about that? We'll bring it back.
Well, yeah. So we went from tattooing, punk kids. I was living in that punk house on Waverly Street where everyone kind of hung out, and
And they all wanted tattoos, so
Yeah.
I mean that was right up your fucking alley.
Then-
With plenty of practice.
Sure. And then I had a nice side gig when you opened Roxy Tattoo, right? When I was on my off days, I was making needles, selling needles, because you had to make needles back then. Who the fuck wants to do that?
Yeah, it wasn't.
I had nothing but time, so yeah.
The Red Army wasn't making them then. But yeah, man. I mean, like we would train. We would train the shop kids to do it and pay them $1 a piece for a needle. And we thought that was getting off cheap.
Yeah. And when I was, I was just supporting myself tattooing out of my house. So if I could sit there and bust out 50 needles in a day, I was like fucking, living the life.
It is. Well, it wasn't like, because you're getting paid half decent money for then. You know what I mean? Like early '90s, and fuck, man. If you're making $150, $200 a day, that was fantastic. That's great now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like back then was fucking pretty goddamn good, and we're really like. In a shop situation, man. I mean, I did really, how fucking good it was.
We didn't need much in life back then.
No, but I mean, we took everything we could get. That's for sure, man.
Well,
when it came to drugs, alcohol, and whatever, you know what I mean. And just whatever. I mean, you don't have to feel like you're filtered here either. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, dude. It is what it is, and you can't change the way things were. And I'm not going to change anything for any fucking pussy out there that doesn't fucking like how it was. You know what I mean? So, tough shit. If you don't like it, move on. There's a million other YouTube channels to fucking watch. So, blow me. The thing is, I mean, I remember you worked up at Roxy there a couple times.
Yeah, I would come up when you needed help
there,
or whatever.
Yeah, because Howie was up there after Howie got fucking slapped up. And Eddie let him go, and Sonny was there, you know what I mean? It was a cool little fucking shop. It was a little piece of shit shop, but it was fucking, there was tattooing going on there.
It was, and that was also at a time when there was like one shop.
No, there was no shops
every like 5 towns.
Anywhere in that fucking area.
Right.
All the fucking shops were either in town or on fucking K&A.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I would go into, Eddie's every like 4 or 5 months with like some friends that I tattooed, like, hey,
can I get
a job? And they're like, get out of here.
Of course, they were smart. They kept fuckers out of there so they wouldn't fucking hone in on their cash.
Sure, and at one point, I when I started learning how to do portraits and stuff, I went in there with Prager, with his leg, and who was it was fucking. God,
Is it Furry or someone?
No, who ended up having the shop on Snyder Avenue?
Biker Rich?
No, before that. Coney Island Joe.
Coney Island Joe,
I was hey,
Joe.
I was looking to try and get a job, so it's like looking back, and I'm looking at Coney Island Joe, and he's like, it's too fancy for us. Maybe you'd do better somewhere else, Right, but it's it's funny when when you later figure things like I was going in there and asking him or whoever the fuck. It's fucking funny,
But look, that was the only point of reference for us back then.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Just walk in and try.
Everybody knew who Philadelphia Eddie was. Everybody knew who Sailor Eddie was. And that was basically the only fucking games in town, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was it. There was South Street Tattoo.
Well, South Street Tattoo, of course.
Yeah.
And then RC in fucking South Philly.
If I knew now what I know then, I would have walked into South Street Tattoo. They probably would have gave me a job in a heartbeat.
Remember the old motto for there was South Street Tattoos, where the prices are low and the artists are high. That was a perfect motto for that place.
Yeah.
But so you move on. You work. How do you get the gig with Bill?
I was trying to work out with Tom Johnson and Damien's in the suburbs, but that shop was full, and Bill really wanted Tom to work for him. And then he's like, I'm not going to move to the city, but here's my friend who lives in the city. You should give him a shot. And he'll act it like, oh, let me, look at your stuff, and he's like, yeah, maybe I'll hire you. And I was like, okay, cool, And then I was like, well, I'm gonna go try and get a job somewhere else too, and then weigh out my options. And he like that. Knowing him now, you know what I mean? It's like, at the time, he was like, what the hell is this kid
motherfucker
talking
will hire
about?
anybody now.
Right.
Yeah, back then, you could be a little more picky back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of shops for someone to go to where they could just say, fuck you, I'll just go to this shop. You know, like, if you ran a fucking nice fucking shop, you usually had good people working for you. You know what I mean? So it was you and JFK and Steve T. And it was a pretty fucking
they
solid
had a
group.
lot of dudes.
Really solid group of tattooers over there.
Oh, dude, through the years, just think of all the tattooers that went through that place.
Sure. And it had a good reputation, but man, he went fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think he was always crazy.
Nah, man, but I don't know, man. I think he got real fucking paranoid. You know what I mean?
He did, yeah.
And and you guys were just there making him tons of loot.
Yeah, I was working 13-hour days. I would work from 11 in the morning till midnight. And if God forbid, if someone walked in at 11:45 and you didn't tattoo him, he would have a fucking hissy fit,
I don't blame him.
After being there since 11 in the morning.
I don't blame him either. Do that fucking name. Take you 15 minutes. Get the fuck out.
Right.
It's an extra, back then was like, $30 to $50 or whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And they always had the highest minimum.
Mm-hmm.
That was the highest
minimum. When I started there, I think
we were
names
30
were,
for years.
I think names were 40, and Eddie's was doing it for 30.
Yeah, we were 30 for fucking years, man.
Yeah.
But, anytime you raise your minimum, these fucking people get nuts. You know what I mean? But you kind of weed out a bunch of assholes.
What about right now? The price of everything has doubled. Like the gloves, everything you gotta fucking use in tattooing is expensive now.
And they come in and you give them a price and they get real fucking pissy with you. But tough shit, man. Look, I gotta make fucking dough. And, with what things cost and what you're gonna pay for a tattoo, I gotta get some kind of fucking meat off of that bone. You know what I mean? And you know what it's like too. You've been running your own place since what, 98 now?
99 I opened
99. So anyway, the feeling there is like, fuck this dude. You know what I mean? He's treating us like workers.
You know what the thing with Bill is? He always treated me really nice, and he treated everyone else bad. And I just knew, I was like, it's only a matter of time. Because as soon as he turned on Don and started treating Don bad, Don was like his main dude. He was there longest.
That's a money-making motherfucker,
That's Don Juan,
Yeah, and, Don can make some money.
And I was like, well, it's only a matter of time. He's going to start treating me this way. So I'm fucking out of here.
Right. Yeah. So how did you end up getting the place where you're at? You've been there since 99.
Well, you remember, back then...
You were trying to get where the pet store was.
Well, I had opened Old City where it is now.
Because that's where that gallery opening was for the convention.
And I was trying to move to the pet store. Because I already had a shop. I opened a shop there, you remember, because it was in between Nick's and the Kyra. And I'm trying to keep it all secret and stuff. And one day, me and Dombrowski are in Lowe's, or Home Depot, and I run into Howie there. And he sees all the shit in the car. He's like, what are you two, building a shop or something? And we're like,
If you want anybody to know anything, you tell Howie.
Yeah.
Because he's fucking telling
everybody. I don't know, whatever. But
dude, did you hear? Dude's opening a shop.
Yeah. Well, we were all at Nick's. I don't remember what we were doing there. And I told you and Howie, I said, we are opening a shop. And it's right. And then you guys came in, remember? And you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then, you're going to kill it here. And that was that.
Good for you. But the same as, look, dude, the fucking rent's got to be crazy there, too.
It's crazy, but now I'm, locked in, so.
You got first right of refusal and all that shit?
Yeah, and my landlord, the building's been bought and sold 3 times since I've been there.
Oh, shit.
I know, I should have bought it. If I knew now, obviously.
Duh, of course. That was the same thing with Rise. They were selling the building next door. And it was only 120 or 30 at the time. You know what I mean? But, then again, the neighborhoods change and, they turn to shit. And crime goes up, you know what I mean? Like the fucking 7-Eleven down the street's getting robbed every fucking other day. The bank gets robbed every month, so it's kind of, shit changes. But down where you're at, that's only been changing for the better. You know what I mean?
It has waves. It was, it was really good, and then it went downhill, and right now it's kind of weird. There's a lot of crazy people around there.
Really?
Oh yeah. They stroll off the L. I think anywhere along the L.
Well, it's probably a lot for. How's this pandemic fucking done for you guys?
I mean, that's kind of why all the crazy people are there. I think because the cops stopped giving a fuck because everything's like closed because it's like a tourist part of town.
Yeah.
So.
But so now, I mean, you've had a pretty good cast of characters come through.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good people.
You know what I mean? I mean, people come and go, but
sure.
I gotta take my medication.
Yeah.
So now through the years, I mean, the music and the whole punk rock thing and rock and roll and tattoos. I mean, they've always fucking gone together. You know what I mean?
Of course.
I mean,
especially in our lifestyles.
Well, like our two camps. I mean, how many fucking killer bands have been fucking? I mean, like really good fucking bands have actually happened too, and you don't really see that too much. You know what I mean? Like there's tattooers that have fucking bands and shit, and it's like.
It's hard to describe to people. I do like whenever I do like interviews or whatever. I try to like set the scene in Philadelphia in like the early '90s.
It's a good fucking music town,
it's like
man.
Where I came from Delaware County and I was into Gigi Allen and all that shit. I was like an outcast. Like there was nobody into that stuff out there.
Let me tell you something. When I was in high school, and it's probably pretty close to when you were too, because I'm not that much fucking older.
You're like at least 20 years older.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, if you were in fucking high school and you had a mohawk or any kind of different haircut, they're like, faggot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, how many times did you get called that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's ridiculous, dude. Now, I mean, just like, everyone looks like that.
Right.
You know, if you don't look different, there's something wrong. You know what I mean? Now you're just a square or whatever.
You're like a serial killer.
Yeah. But like a lot of good bands a lot of good music came out of that. A lot of good tattoos came out of it, man. We did a lot of traveling, did a lot of fucking. We did a ton of fucking cool shit. We took advantage of what was there at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, what were your favorite things? I mean, like what made you a better tattooer then? Like, who were the people that helped you? Who were the people that fucking inspired you?
I was very young when I started tattooing, so everything was like impressionable. You know what I mean? Everything I looked at, it's like, it just made it my life. I'd go to every convention and just sit there and watch everybody.
I'd see you at conventions at like 5th and Pip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, and I was a young kid hanging out with you and Howie and like Steve T. I started working with him, and there was this Philly punk scene. I started working on South Street when I was 20. I wasn't even allowed in bars.
Yeah, sure.
And there was this whole thing that you guys were doing that was new, and that was new and exciting, like when I started getting into more like that, the rock and roll bands and shit. It's like,
tons of fighting, fucking, and getting fucked up.
It was a dream. And then, I would go to the ECW shows, and then you brought me to that fucking truck stop. Like,
how good was that, dude?
And that was my first experience with like deathmatch wrestling, and I was like, oh, what is this? Yeah.
Dude, I mean, that's where it's at.
And then it just went from there. It's easy.
Rock wrestling and tattoos.
That was just living the life, man.
See, that's just
still doing it.
I mean, that and then the rock and wrestling fucking show. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That was good, dude.
Yeah.
No Breakers Rule.
Unbelievable.
That was what, 96?
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was 96 down at the rec center there. Mm-hmm. The midget wrestlers.
Yeah, it's the wrestling and
the midget women. Split tag teams. Luscious Luke.
At the time, that was a really bad
boy Axel Future.
Yeah. Rocco.
Oh, Rocco. He's still around too.
He
moved. He was smart enough to move here.
He's my neighbor now. He lives right down the street from me.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Shit.
And at that time, where was that? I think it was on Fairmount, right?
It was in Fairmount. Yeah. It was down by the art museum.
It was a real shitty neighborhood back then. And I remember being at the bar across the street with everybody.
We were drinking with the fucking midget wrestlers.
With the midget and dudes like with cowboy hats, and we're like in this like brother bar. They're like, what the fuck is going on?
And the little guys are all like, they're like, hey, we like your tattoos, man. I said, come back to the shop. We'll do your back piece in 10 minutes. And they just started cracking up. You know what I mean? Like they knew, they knew the work. You know what I'm saying? And that's why like rock and roll and wrestling and tattoos. There's like that carny work to it, you know what I mean? And people just like, the tattooers, they don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, these fuckers, like, they take roller derby serious. Like, that was always a work.
Yeah.
It came on after wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they did the same angles as the wrestlers did, except with fucking roller skates on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't get it, man. But so who were like I'm saying, who are your main influences? Tom Johnson was definitely like,
He was a bit, he was like my, I would
and
say
Paul Booth.
him and my, and Paul Booth, I just got tattooed by him last
saw
week,
that.
yeah, and I was like, dude, I've been trying to get tattooed by you for like over 30 years now, you know, it's like amazing.
Well, good, you got him
But
before
yeah.
he died of a Cheeto overdose. We were coming back from this fucking, I forget where we were at, we're somewhere in New York or whatever, there's this art show or something going on, and we get to talking about Paul Booth in the car, and we're probably, he probably eats like black Cheetos, and everything he eats is like dark chocolate, and, you know what I mean, the blackest of the
Evil,
black,
yeah.
Yeah, we're just fucking pissing ourselves, and fucking, you know, with all this shit he probably eats, you know, because he's a big boy, you know. But, so, those guys were your shit, you know what I mean? So, but, how do you get pulled towards some of, because you could do a fucking nice traditional tattoo.
I
mean, here
consider
you have to do
myself,
everything.
yeah, I'm a street shop tattooer, came up on South Street, I gotta be able to do everything, so it was just, you know, whatever walks through the door, that's what I do.
Yeah, but now
Now,
you know, you streamline it to your clientele
It's,
and the
you
shit
know,
that you want to do, you know what I mean?
Sure. Well, no, none of it I want to do. It's
Like,
some of
no
it.
shit, we'd rather
yeah.
be sitting around having a
Right.
fucking beer doing
Sure.
nothing, you know what
Actually,
I mean? And watching
like
wrestling.
the other
you know?
night, at the end of the night, 5 girls come in and they want semicolon tattoos, right? And
I love that.
Yeah, I was like,
Line me up everything
that's what
small
I said.
and expensive.
I said, this is my second favorite tattoo to do. I said, line them up. And then Matt, who I'm working with, well, what's your first favorite? I said, period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or comma.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever's less than this, you know? So how, like, what would you say is the selling point for Old City over there?
We're a custom shop.
You got a good,
yeah.
solid fucking crew.
We got
dude.
yeah.
I like most of
Yeah.
the guys there. You know,
Everyone there's cool.
There. Yeah. I don't think
They
there's
stick
anyone
around
wrong.
for a long time, so I got to be doing something right. You know, Martin Lacoste, he's been there the whole time for 22 years.
He's been
you
there
know,
he's been there since day one.
and he's so.
Because there's a bar right next door.
That's all he needs. There's a bar next door. You know,
Bar next door.
yeah.
There's tattoo machines on the.
And it's a real bar next door.
Yeah.
Brownies is the last real bar. They left it in Philly, I think.
It was made for alcoholics.
Yeah. Right. There's still people getting beat up in there weekly and
course.
shit. They can smoke. It's, you know, it's,
Yeah, fucking bless that place.
I'm glad it's right next to the shop because the Kyber is now, that was one of the punk clubs that we used to
that
hang
place
at.
was
Now it's a
fucking-
restaurant.
I mean, that place has been open a long fucking time. A few
Yeah.
hundred years.
Yeah.
So, and then, what are some of your favorite places to go to, like tattooing and being on the road and shit?
Dude,
you know what I mean?
I like going, I just like going to hang out with friends, honestly. Like, when I leave, I don't even like tattooing it, like, when I go places. I'm not gonna do that enough at home, you know. I work
Listen,
7
dude,
days a week,
Yeah, well,
so
I mean,
it's
you used
like-
to, you used to do a lot of conventions.
yeah, I go to
back in the day,
conventions
you know.
and stuff, but not, you know, if they
There's
come
not really
back,
any
who the
good
fuck
ones anymore,
knows?
You know what I mean? There's not really any good ones. The one here is a fucking shit show.
My favorite convention to go to anymore, yeah, I love the shit show that this has become. I love that. I know you don't like it,
Dude, I
but
can't
I
stand
love
it.
I love that there's 1,000 booths there, and it's just madness. You know what I
Fuck
mean?
that place.
If I had to travel to go to that, I wouldn't like
Get out
it.
of your fucking mind.
Right, but then
I
I
don't
can
even
just
wanna
walk
travel
right down
into town to
it's
the
7
motherfucker.
blocks from my shop.
God bless you. I wouldn't even want to travel
There's
7 blocks to that
Two,
shit.
1,000 booths. There's 2,000 tattooers showing up 7 blocks. So the shop crushes it when that happens. you
Listen,
know?
this is what I said. This is what you do at that convention, right? To all the cats that you really dig, you give them a code word. As soon as they hear that code word, they duck, and then you just open up. And that'll take out every dickhead tattooer for miles.
You would kill 1,000 people you never heard of.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. They'd be complete strangers.
Yeah, I walk around there and I'm looking at we come from a time, like we said, that there was 4 or 5 shops in Philly, and now I'm walking
Yeah, but
by.
there's now,
There's 1,000 booths there. 500 of them are shops from Philly you never fucking heard of. It was like, man, it's going berserk. But you know, it's
Like,
just like
nobody called me about this.
right.
You know? Where's my fucking phone call?
That's just two old fogies complaining at this point, though. You gotta.
That's all. Yeah, you're just that's all you know. But you know what, dude? Like, I can fucking complain because I fucking do something about it. I change with the times. You know what I mean? If you sit around and just fucking piss and moan, and your fucking business just keeps taking a fucking tank, you're a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Like, you're not a good businessman. You know what I'm saying? You need to fucking adapt and change to the fucking
It's hard
times.
though. It's like every week there's like new shit coming out. Like,
God bless him. You know, Eric would always say, he goes, Paul would love this. Paul was all about changing. You know what I mean? And you're talking about the godfather of fucking modern tattooing. You know what I mean? Would have loved this shit. Like all the new inventions and the fucking, you know, all the little shit coming out. The quality of tattooing and shit. The sterility. I mean, you name it. He would have fucking been in love with it. And he would have been right to. You know what I mean? This is so much fucking better than it used to be. The only fucking drag is the amount of people. You know what I mean? It does cut into your fucking bottom line.
sure. And
You know what I mean?
You know,
And we're two old Jews.
Yeah.
We know better than anyone.
we love money.
Yeah.
But right now, after this, I don't know how you've been here, but we like lately have been really busy with people trying to spend all this extra money they made over the pandemic.
As soon after Labor Day and the nice weather hit, they're all down the fucking shore.
Yeah, I'm getting worried it's going to end soon.
Well, July it's over.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be
You hand all of Philly, you know, fucking check for $2,000. They're getting tattoos.
Booze, rubbing tugs, and tattoos.
Yeah.
That's
so we've been,
exactly
we've been having a
and
good time.
fucking weed from the dispensary. You know what I mean? Like that's what they're going to spend.
They ain't
fucking
spending
money.
dispensary prices.
Well, whatever they're buying.
Yeah,
Whatever,
right.
fine. I just go by what I do. But so yeah, man. Like, so this gets like this has always opened the door for us to like meet fucking some of our heroes too. You know what I mean? Like especially in rock and roll and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we've tattooed fucking rock stars and famous people and fucking sports figures and like we meet people that most people don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People only dream of.
The best is when you don't know who they are.
Uh,
And you're kind of like, I know this guy's probably something.
I know all these fuckers whenever they walked in. Oh yeah. The only one like I didn't know was like some like offensive lineman from the San Diego Chargers.
Do you watch sports? Because I don't watch sports, so I don't know who anyone.
Well, some shit I do, but believe me, they'll tell you who they are.
Sometimes when there's like an athlete in the shop, I'm like. Just
well, forget Mike
everyone's like,
Tyson
you don't know who
shit,
that is.
dude.
Well, yeah, you know who he is, but dude, what's his name? Let's see, I'm drawing a blank now. The pop star, he's a little redhead kid.
Who?
He came in the shop and got
Natalie, who's a little redhead kid? Pop star.
Huh?
Justin Bieber?
No.
Redhead
folk singer from
Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran comes in the shop.
That guy, yeah.
Julie was working the floor at the time. She cards him, and he's like, I left my ID on the tour bus. And she's like, oh, are you in a band? He's like, yeah, I'm a folk singer. Really? She made the manager go get his paperwork off the tour bus.
Dude, all you need is someone from the health department in there fucking checking up on you, and this dickhead doesn't have his ID. Then they shut us down.
Yeah, I wasn't there that day, but Ed Sheeran gets tattooed, buys a t-shirt, and someone hits me up like, a couple weeks later, they're like, yo, check this out. He's on some fucking runway with like some other superstar wearing the fucking Old City shirt. I'm like, holy shit.
See, our thing was all the ECW wrestlers all had Cadillac shirts.
I know. I was jealous of that.
Yeah, everyone was real jealous. Like, man, we saw him wearing
I was jealous
Cadillac
of the Cadillac ECW clientele.
Yeah, everybody was. That was highly coveted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean at the time. It doesn't hurt to have a wrestling manager in your corner either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what they were in there sucking your dicks trying to get Howie to fucking book him some
They
shit.
wanted me to tattoo him.
Yeah.
They
I'm saying
didn't
they're trying to get him to get them in San Francisco and shit.
Yeah. But I mean, look, dude, those guys were always super cool when they came in. They didn't always get the coolest stuff, but like it was always good to fucking talk. They would be talking about their angles before they went and did the angle. You know what I mean? So you knew what was fucking up. You know, and you know they knew we weren't gonna fucking tell nobody anything. You know what I mean? We knew what fucking kayfabe was, so we just shut the fuck up and watch it. You know, like New Jack coming in after he fucking did the mass transit incident, like with the videotape. Like nobody even knew about it yet.
I used to tape trade with people,
Yeah.
so I had all these fucking crazy videos.
Well, he had it like the next fucking day. He comes in the show, he's like, "Go Perfect, you gotta see this shit." And we're just like looking at it, we're just like, "That is so beautiful."
Oh my God. Yeah, when that happened, that was the
It's
shit.
beautiful, dude. But I mean, and then not even that. It's just like, you know, we get to go on tour, either go on tour tattooing or go on tour playing music. I mean, you know, we live a pretty fucking decent life doing this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's no one gave it to you. You know what I mean? Like we busted our asses. You busted your ass working 13, 14, 15 hours a day. I worked till 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the morning. You know what I mean? And being in there at 10 in the morning and then almost 24 hours. I've done that plenty of times, you know what I mean?
But you like it.
And I liked cocaine too at the time, so
who
you know.
doesn't? I mean, that's what it's made for.
It smells so good.
Yeah.
But
I was tattooing a cop, you know, and you know, we're on the subject of cocaine, and he's like, I've always wanted to try cocaine, but I can't because I'm a cop. He's like, what's it like? And I go,
think of the most wonderful
do you
thing.
gamble? He's like, yeah. It's like, you know when you like win a hand of blackjack, and you're like, yes. I said, it's like that, but there's usually chicks involved too.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh man.
There's always some skanky bar involved.
Yeah.
Exactly. Holy shit, dude. So, what keeps you tattooing?
That's all. I'm just in it for life. I'm not gonna ever stop. You know.
Right.
You know.
I mean, it's not like you know how to do
Rock and
anything
roll
else.
tattoo, and you know, it's like if I take a day off and I'm sitting around like doing nothing, I'm like, let's see what's going on at the shop. I got no other life. It's
Dude,
just, you know.
it doesn't matter where the fuck I go. The first thing I find is a tattoo shop.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm going here. I gotta
There's
call
only
so and so.
one fucking time that I was verboten to fucking go in a tattoo shop. Was we went down to Miami to go see Sir Paul. So I said, well, you have to do something good for me, you know. So she got me a massage, a good massage at the hotel. You know what I mean? But no tattoo shops. I wanted to go and visit Ken and see what Troy was up to, and this one and that one. You know, she's like, you're not going anywhere.
You went to Miami and didn't go to any tattoo shops. I find it hard to believe.
This trip I did not. No, that one trip that was a while back, but you know, I had to keep my wife happy too. So,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. You're married to this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like you're married to this more than any other relationship in your life. This
Yeah.
is and it's the sickest relationship that you'll ever have. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times it just does you dirty so much.
Well, you also owning the shop. You also got to keep you know 5 other tattooers happy.
Yeah. See, that's the tough part is owning a shop.
Yeah.
And for some reason, everybody wants to own a shop.
Artists
Why?
are crazy.
Why? I'll never know.
Artists are crazy people.
You know. So, where do you see the future, Old City, and you and
I'm
the
just
other
gonna.
guys?
I just see it sitting there till it's fucking. I mean, I'm gonna ride it out as long as you know. I don't even plan for the future. I just go. You know.
Well, you gotta have some kind
exactly.
of.
You don't know.
We're Jews too.
Yeah. I mean, I
So
own my
there's always
house.
that, you
I'm
know.
good. You know, like.
That's always a good thing. But look, man, if somebody buys that building and tells you to fuck off, then what?
Then I would just move right into another one. I mean, I've had shops that didn't work out. You know, like when I bought Philadelphia Eddie's in Chinatown, I was there for 3 years before Smitty, who we had the whole building at that point. Smitty basically got us evicted almost. You know, I was like,
Yeah, he's a rough dude, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he was a sweetheart and shit, but like,
he was nuts.
yeah, man.
Fun to hang out with because
Yes.
you never knew what the fuck he was gonna do.
Well, you remember one fucking convention? You know, you remember the handshake he had, right?
Yeah. That got
Somebody-
everyone into a lot of trouble. His handshake.
Yeah, because someone came up to him at a convention like, yo, dude, what's up with the handshake? He goes, what's up with the handshake? Bam, bam,
Yeah,
bam, just
every
fucking
time,
beats the
man.
living shit out of someone.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
this guy was a giant. He was like, you know,
it's a 7 foot tall.
literal
motherfucker.
giant.
Yeah, he was 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
Dude, the convention on the ship, he kept banging his head.
Yeah,
on the
he kept standing up and banging his head.
fucking fucking knot on his head after the weekend was over.
The airport one, he was fighting all the police, and he's like, "Get him, steady!" They're like clubbing him and tasing him and shit. You know?
Yeah, he was an animal.
Yeah.
Man.
So that's that's who I'm working with in Chinatown, and eventually he got into it with the landlord, and he's like, "When your lease is up, I'm giving this place to my brother or whatever to turn into like a arts and crafts store or some shit."
Was he Chinese guy?
Yeah. Bobby Lee.
There you go.
Bobby, he was a bad gambler, Bobby Lee. But I talked him into I was like, "Look, I'm gonna get him out of here." I ended up just selling it to Adam and those guys, and just moving on. I did what I had to do.
And then you had Peggy's shop too, right?
Peggy was calling around because she had a little bout with cancer and couldn't work anymore. And
she's hanging in there now like a motherfucker.
She's great. She beat it. And but yeah, I was like, I'll just buy the shop and you can just keep working there, because she couldn't she'd take like months off at a time.
Yeah, I imagine so. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Man, she had that fucking cool ass Nolan fucking koi fish fucking tattoo, man. That thing's so badass.
Dude, she had a lot of cool shit in that shop too.
Yeah,
and all good stories, and she's a really nice lady. So it was a good experience. But same thing. Once she rolled to Florida, I was like, well, what am I doing with this?
Yeah.
It's like,
so is it closed or somebody have it now?
Someone I sold it to a friend of mine who bought it for his kid, who was a tattooer in California and was moving back, and I think they since have sold it.
Huh.
In that one year, like 8 fucking shops opened up between that. See, that shop was in it's in a beach town, and that was as close to the beach as you could.
Yeah, well, she was very strategic.
25 years ago.
She was very strategic about where she.
And since then, when they lifted it, then there's fucking 8 shops between you and the beach, and then you're just screwed. At that point.
That's a drag, man. You know what I mean? Like, you bust your fucking hump your whole life, and then that shit happens. You know? That's a bummer, And like we're at those ages where we see those things happening now. You know what I mean? When shit happens to you, it's a fucking pain in the ass, Now with the music.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to take everything we know in life and combine it into a rock and wrestling band with other tattooers, and travel the world.
Well, I'm going to tell you your biggest mistake. Okay. Was not getting
Eric Perfect on drums.
I
know.
Biggest mistake you could buy. Number 1, reliable. Number 2, the best.
It's I wish we would have.
That's it.
We had Ant-Man on drums.
And I'm a motherfucker that loves to travel, loves to be a crazy son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't taking no fucking bumps like that. I'm managerial kind of material.
You are good on the mic.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm more managerial type. I'm a very good representative.
Mm-hmm.
But
when Rancid Vat and everything would play, it was a spectacle,
It was a complete spectacle.
And you are great on the microphone.
Yeah, it was fucking shit show. The best was with the fucking fireworks display.
Yeah.
One of the last shows over at Nick's, you know what I mean? That place, everyone got smoke inhalation. They didn't go to the hospital.
It was always something at that place when you guys played.
Yeah, always something went on, you know what I mean? And it's funny because, like when those shows were going on, we'd be fucking tattooing all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just fucking pack up and head down. And we had fucking pockets full of money too, dude, So I fucking come home and I just take these fucking stacks of 20s out, all soaking wet from fucking playing and fucking, getting into fights or jumping off stages or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? They're either bloody or sweaty or both,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were fucking great times, and you're one of those guys that was there for like all of it.
Yeah. And you would, and the crowds for those shows would be wasn't your typical punk crowd either. It was like unruly.
They're fucking maniacs, dude.
Yeah.
Like those were some loyal fucking fans.
Yes.
I gotta say, dude. God fucking bless each and every one of them, dude. Because when we went out on the road with Hellstomper, man. I mean, it was like those motherfuckers showed right back up. Like I remember these fuckers from shows like super shows back in the day. You know what I mean? Like all the other southern ones that we did in Kansas. These fuckers were showing up everywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure. Especially down south, I bet.
There's a couple disappointing ones, but for the most part, you know, when we did the run with Anti-Scene was pretty good. So,
and they're one of my favorites too, Anti-Scene.
yeah, they're getting a lot of shit too.
We were on tour in Europe, their last European tour. We linked up and played a show together in, I don't know where the fuck we were. Belgium or something? Like, who the fuck? But their whole tour got canceled. They could only play like a couple shows.
Yeah.
And we're backstage, and I'm like, Jeff, you gotta come guest vocal, you know? It's like
all it took was one
you know?
fucking dildo.
Yeah.
One dildo ruined the whole fucking tour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you don't like something or agree with something, move the fuck on, dude.
People,
you know what I mean? Like,
the internet gives anyone a platform to.
Any dildo.
Yeah. And people just look at the negative stuff. They don't.
Dude.
Right.
It's like I don't ever even want to go online anymore. You know, it's pointless.
Yeah.
You know? But
we had linked up
one
with
thing
them.
I know is that you have a deep fucking love for tattooing.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like to have people come in and talk about their life in this thing. You know what I mean? Because it's it's an interesting story people tell.
I got my first tattoo when I was 13 years old. I mean,
were you hand poking it or just?
Yeah, hand poked it.
Yeah.
I got my first one in a shop when I was 16 years old.
Nice.
I had a fake ID that said I was 18,
Nice.
so I could get tattooed. You know.
What did Dad think about this?
He didn't live with me, so it didn't really matter. Yeah.
What did Mom think about it?
When I was 18 is when I got my forearms tattooed, and I had to call my dad and be like, hey, I got my forearms tattooed. Naked chicks, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, that's a huge fucking commitment. Dude,
yeah.
You know, anything below the elbows then was I mean, that was the biggest commitment you could make. As far as tattooing.
My mom was always supportive of anything. Before I could drive, she dropped me off at the fucking Philly convention in 1990. I was 15 years old. I was by myself. She just dropped me off.
There you go.
Yeah, call me when you're ready.
And I'm sure everyone.
There's like a line of bikers and shit.
And I'm sure everyone was like, "Come on in."
Yeah.
You
I was like,
mean?
just walking around like.
There's absolutely no judgment, no snide fucking looks or remarks. You know what I mean? And that's what I think, you find this. I mean, I found a family here, so. And you're like one of my brothers.
Yeah,
you know
I was lucky enough that we went to school and linked up early, and it's especially, I was 17 when I went to the Art Institute.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I remember you being young.
Yeah.
I was like a few years out of the Army.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to try to do something. You know what I mean? I was starting a tattoo. Excuse me. I was starting a tattoo just about a year or two before then. Fucking people up, and I figured, man, this couldn't hurt.
Right.
I was up to Joe Kubert school, and then she was pregnant. I was like, I better get the fuck back. You know what I mean? So. And
it also, speaking of school. All the shit you did when the tattoo school was trying to open up, how good was that?
It was pretty good, dude.
And that's another reach of fucking society.
Fuck that, dude. We shut them down.
Yeah. It's like people like that who just ruin the business.
They're still in shithead neighborhood, trying to pull the same shithead fucking scams, and nobody's stealing for it anymore.
Mm-hmm. There was a place out in fucking, like an hour away from here. It was always like a tattoo school.
Mark.
I don't remember.
Mark's Tattooing.
It wasn't Mark's.
Yeah, it was Mark's. Yeah, that asshole opened up a school too.
Wow.
The worst tattooer in the fucking world opens a tattoo school.
And people would come in with their like tattoo school certificate, to Johnson's and shit.
Yeah,
They'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that would always be fucking special. Fuck, man. So you gotta have some plan for the future, something.
Here's the plan. We have a Eat the Turnbuckle documentary coming out. I'm gonna try and talk these fucks into getting back together for it, which isn't gonna happen. But
well, you have someone play drums.
Yeah.
No more jabronis.
I started over COVID a new project with Schlack, who's killing it in the wrestling world right now. Have you been to see any of the GCW?
No, I haven't been to any of the GCW.
They were running shows in Atlantic City during COVID.
Yeah.
Me and my wife, it's like the only thing to do. We're like, whatever. We'll go.
Dude, I got too many underlying conditions for me to be dealing with shit like that.
Yeah, it was so sketchy.
Not for me, man. You
So,
know?
but that's all we did, and then I started a new band with him and Evan and Dan O'Hare, just because.
And Schlack's a fucking good ass tattooer too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, you just hope nothing happens to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's some fucking risky shit. You know it. Dude.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Just the fucking goddamn Coke cans cut in half on a fucking. What the fuck are you thinking?
Oh, they're
You're
next
getting
level
tore the
there,
fuck
man.
up, dude.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that ain't no gimmick for that.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, so if anybody thinks wrestling is fake, you can go fuck yourself, dude, right now. You know?
Football's fake, wrestling's real.
Football's fake as shit. So is that Roman Greco fucking wrestling shit where
Yeah.
they fucking hug each other's balls. Fuck that shit.
Well, now you've lured me back into that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See,
Right.
there's tons of fake shit in the world going on. Fucking motherfucker. So.
But tattooing wise, like right now I'm working 7 days a week. My goal is to work 6 days a week, maybe. I don't know.
Now, you got married again?
I got married again over COVID. Yeah.
I noticed I wasn't invited, but it's okay.
Yeah, we had to have a small one. We were gonna have this big blowout fucking wedding, and that got kiboshed.
Well, when all this shit settles down, have a fucking party.
Yeah, I want to.
Get a couple bands to play or whatever,
Yeah.
you know? Do something cool. You know what I mean? And then come up with like a little wedding tattoo. You know what I mean? A bunch of drunk fuckers doing it, you know? Drunken fucking wedding tattoo.
Wedding tattoo convention.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
That'd be fucking cool, dude.
Well,
So-
originally our plan was to get married at the Golden Tiki in Vegas. You ever been to that place?
Yeah.
And I had a Don Ho impersonator on fucking hand. I had a midget Elvis ready to marry. And
Well,
fucking,
me and my wife, we had this like 6 foot tall French Elvis married
Nice.
us.
What was his name?
Graceland wedding. Elvis, motherfucker.
Well, in a French accent, though.
Elvis.
Yeah, all right.
You know, some shit like that. I came in, I was like throwing karate kicks and shit, doing my TCB Taekwondo. That's right, motherfucker.
I have a great picture. We've done a lot of stuff together, and I have there's pictures of the opening of the first tattoo museum that we went to.
Oh yeah.
And we had Howie's
Air
parents
Pakistan.
drove us to New York to get on Air
No, it was
Pakistan.
at the Reading Airport.
Is that where we
Yeah,
were?
Reading Airport we went to.
Because that was the cheapest flight we could get, and it was Air Pakistan.
No,
There's
but
flies on the plane.
but the first fucking plane was like,
Yeah.
you know.
They prayed before we took off.
Yeah, prayer to Allah.
And I'm telling Howie,
There's flies. I was looking for
put the
goats.
turban on.
Yeah,
And
I was
he's like,
looking
will
for
you
goats.
shut up?
He's like, shut
He's
up.
like, we're Jews and they hate us.
No. How good was it when that little kid was on the floor and he put his
Yeah.
feet on his head?
Howie's
He's a
leaned
little
back.
fucking-
Yeah. I wake up to this. Howie's leaned back with his foot in between the two seats
of
in front of
course.
us. Oh, by the way, there's these like
And
this
you can
whole
smoke
family.
still.
Yeah, you can still smoke on the plane. And we're all looking at our tickets because no one wanted to sit next to this lady and her
Oh,
5
she's
kids in
stoked,
her
dude.
lap. And Howie had the unlucky ticket. He's
Yeah.
like, I hate you.
That kid shit his fucking
Yeah.
drawers first thing on the plane, dude.
So I'm trying to sleep. Howie wakes me up. Dude,
Dude.
look at this. Yeah, look at this. He's got his fucking
I know. I
shoe off, and he's got his foot up, and the kid is licking his fucking toe. And he's like, look how gross that is.
I mean, he was a son of a bitch, but he was
shit.
good for fucking some shit
Yeah.
every once in a while, man. You know what I mean?
At one point, remember, he shot his insulin over the fucking seat onto somebody.
Dude, he did that when we were in Japan. There was a whole Lions Club group of Japanese guys, and he goes, watch this. And then sticks himself, you know.
He was a wild man.
Yeah, well.
And speaking of, missed opportunities, where that garage was that Limecell and Rancid Vet used to practice. We used to practice there every once in a while.
We built that studio
Yeah,
there. And Howie built that.
Then the guy died, and they wanted to sell Howie that garage for like 18 grand. He's like, get the fuck out of here. 18 grand? Are you kidding me? Like,
in that neighborhood,
Yeah.
that neighborhood's like
right.
massive.
And now that's like the hot fucking neighborhood.
Yeah,
now it's like $1 million
property,
probably.
yeah, for 18
Fucking
grand,
Jesus
you
Christ.
would
I
have
think
made
about
$1
that all the
million
time
fucking
whenever I'm at Kung Fu Necktie.
Well, you know who it was? It was at our boy Jordan's garage.
Mm-hmm.
The over at JBM Automotive.
I never met that.
Right around the corner. Well, remember when Schmitz was still there?
Mm-hmm.
Right next to that, there was a fucking auto place. That's where I had my Chevelle done. He did all the fucking engine work and shit there. But right around the corner, that big place, that's where he kept all the cars. Like all his, like, you know, the project cars and shit he kept in there. So he fucking hooked us up at the back, and me and Howie paid a fucking couple guys to come back there and like hook it up into a studio.
It was a great space, yeah.
You know, that place was great. There's fucking rats everywhere in that fucking place, though, boy. You know? But yeah, I mean, every week, I mean, Phil and Marla would show up, and Phil would have his big old bag of fucking beers, you know? Oh, my God. Always, he had, and he, during the winter, he would wear his sweatpants, and then he had the sweat shorts for the summer. You know? Yeah. God bless the Whiskey Row.
Yeah. We had a lot of good shows.
Tons of fucking good shows. A lot of violent shows. I mean, you know, some shit, man, that went down and scared the shit out of me even. You know what I mean? I mean, I usually roll with the punches, whatever, man. But there were some scary fucking shows, dude.
Yeah.
You know, motherfuckers getting their fucking noses turned, you know?
Well, I feel like that was every time. Yeah.
You guys fucking would start the fights. You know what I mean?
People like
Who was that little
us.
asshole with the fucking derby? That Tom, was that what his name was? That fucker started a lot of fights. I remember that kid.
Yeah, guess what he does now? He's the sheriff in Delaware County.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, the Prospect Park show, that was a good one.
Yeah.
How he goes through the table and the place just went mental.
Oh, it was bananas.
Oh man, we took off out that back door so fucking fast. I had like my whole kit of drums, I'm like going down the steps, and they were like slippery from raining. You know,
These
like,
guys are playing, and the stage has like an extension made out of folding tables. So of course Howie goes through the table, and then the whole place starts rioting.
Yeah, the Ballad of Brigham Young.
Oh yeah, it was fucking.
Yeah.
It was, and then the cops and the place. I feel like in
No,
my
you know
head,
what
I feel like the
did?
place was just
the guy
like,
from the wife beaters is like, he's pointing at us, and I said, come here, officer. I need a word with you. I said, you want to know who your culprit is here? Him. And they go right over and they snatched him up. I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here. And we got the fuck out the back door, and that was the end of that. So.
And that was like a fun scene because you guys were older, and it was like you played in front of all these kids.
I know, I'm a taxpayer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get involved in this kind of crap in my life. You know, these curmudgeons over here started the whole thing. You know, but yeah, man. And that was another, you know, like we'd fucking work our ass off all day doing fucking tattoos on a Saturday, fucking pack our shit, boom, go fucking hit a show, get all fucked up and crazy, and then boom, you know, next day, right back at it again, tattooing all day, like 19 hours, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then, you know, that just bred fucking us doing Bad Luck 13. I mean, we're just gonna take this shit on the road and just cause,
I remember the day you
cause
handed me the snail
craziness.
trail
Yeah.
tape,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Blunker was in that one.
Yeah. It was just, you know, just following after my my mentors here. It's just who
kill children.
who some of them are the actual mentors.
Yeah. The Satanic Rage.
Yeah. Which is still going. You know, we still go. Yeah. I have a Halloween party every year.
Well, my
called Satanic
wife was
Rage.
at the first one.
Was she?
Yeah, she played with those guys with Metal Mike and them guys.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't made aware of that until someone told her something, and she's like, "Really?" And then she left the band. Yeah.
Yeah. Philly was a very not PC place to be at the time.
No, it was not, man. And you know, in a lot of pockets, it still isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It really isn't. You know what I mean? Like,
The city's changed a lot.
You gotta admit, as a Jew, dude, the shit that you fucking get.
Oh. It's weird.
One thing everybody agrees on is they all hate Jews.
Yeah, especially in the scene that we were playing in, with all these southern fucking like rebel flag wearing fucking everything, you know.
So we had to be positive representatives of our culture,
Right?
You know what I mean, and win people over, you know,
Mm-hmm.
such as it was. You know?
I was asking Eddie. You probably know more about the history side of Philly than me. When he was, I was like, who are the oldest tattooers from Philly when you came here? And he said there was 7 of them, and he started naming them, people I never heard of. But then when he was done naming them, I'm like, most of them had Jewish last names. So I was like,
well, Diffie and Stella Grossman.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't know why people say Grassman, because it wasn't fucking Grassman, it was Grossman.
I said, were all the tattooers Jews?
Hoff.
Yeah.
It was short for Hoffman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he's like,
a lot of them were like old Jewish carnies.
Yeah,
you know
weird to think about.
Yeah.
It never even dawned on
Germans
me.
too, which is weird. You know, like So, I mean, there was a mix of everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it was a good mix. And Salaretti was over here before he went to Camden too. So yeah, I mean, you had a good fucking, you had a good lineup of like. The only one that people really wouldn't know is Popoff. You know, every once in a while you see a Popoff tattoo on like a real old motherfucker.
Really?
Yeah, I've got some photos. Throughout the years, I mean, I've always managed to take photos of all the old shit and get names. And,
Yeah, you were always good with that.
you know. Well, I mean, you know, this shit's got to be documented somehow, but it's tough. I think an investigation down to City Hall to see what was going on Race Street back in the day, Race and Cherry, would probably uncover a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's where all the shops that
that's the only place they would let them because the bus station was there.
Right.
That was like their Skid Row, you know, it was like fucking Chinatown and Skid Row, you know, that whole fucking
What would you
thing.
consider Skid Row now? K&A.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Skid Row. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll tell you what, Manayunk used to be, you know what I mean? Like that Main Street Manayunk, it was all fucking meth heads and junkies back in the day, dude.
Was it?
And then the fucking canal there was fucking polluted as
I never
fuck.
even heard of Manayunk until you opened the shop there.
You know, I was living up there.
Yeah.
You know? I was living up there and I was, fuck man, there ain't nothing up here for miles. There's nothing miles away from here. There was nothing, the closest thing was maybe, there was some scratcher out in Norristown.
I still don't know where that is.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
So now there's like 5 shops up there, of course, you know. But
There's 5 shops on this
well,
block.
that's where
you know
that
what I
Shane
mean?
O'Neill started at that Norristown tattoo. The guy that won Ink Master.
I thought he was at Paul Palladino's.
No, he started out at Norristown, then he went to Paul's,
Okay.
and then he was in Philly or so. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Anyway, I'm not his A biographer, so fuck him. We're here to talk about you, my friend. Talk about you.
The
So you know,
spotlight.
and so during this whole time, you and who's the cat? You guys put out that Into the Water book.
Jay Cooper. We were eating a lot. You know, I was doing a lot at that point, doing a lot of drugs. You know, and
As opposed to what?
drawing sea monsters, and I was like, you know, we were just into it. I don't know, we just mindless, and then we started trading Flash back and forth to the point where we had like,
That book did pretty good.
it was all right, yeah.
You know.
We had like 30 sheets of Flash, and I was like, we need to just turn this into a book. And he's okay, well, you know.
And a lot of people
you know.
won't know that the project you were involved with was the Sailor Jerry story. That video. I mean, it's a fucking
the documentary.
yeah. That's a big fucking thing, and you do a lot of the fucking voiceovers in there too.
My old roommate Eric was Eric Weiss. He lived with me, and he got funding to do a Sailor Jerry documentary, and he started interviewing like historians and this and that, and I was like, dude, you need to just interview some fucking old tattooers, and then we started coming up with names and just rolling around interviewing them, you know. And once you get one person on the hook, then everyone's like, as soon as you get fucking
I'm gonna tell you this is
Ed Hardy in that shit.
This is what happened back in the day,
Yeah.
right? So Fat Larry, I was tattooing him, right? Remember Retroactive Fat Larry started the whole Sailor Jerry fucking thing. Well, this is how it started, okay? Unfortunately, I'm responsible for that.
For Larry, starting Sailor Jerry.
Yes.
Yes.
What happened was he was fishing around the shop, you know, because he was putting shit on T-shirts.
Right, yeah.
He was going through all my Flash that I had a bunch of shit from Sonny and this one and that one. And I said, listen, dude. I said, you're not going to come in here just taking designs, stealing them, and putting them on shirts and making fucking money, dude. Okay? I'm not letting it go down. I said, this is what you do. I got fucking Hardy's number and I got Malone's number because I had corresponded with Rollo. I talked to him and I met him in Florida and fucking corresponded a little bit here and there. And Ed too, because he actually used some of my originals for Rollo's book. Anyhow, so I had their numbers. I said, here's the numbers, here's addresses. You got a 50-50 chance. They're either gonna tell you go fuck yourself or say, yeah, let's do some business, and then you'll work out a deal and whatever. And boom, that's what happened with the clothing and shit. After that, I'm sure cocaine got the best of them, and then boom, 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 then you have a fucking rum and liquor company. But that was the first. That was the first start of it. You know, was the clothing. And
Right.
The clothing
well, the clothing, the clothing turned into they started a booze company after all this, and then sold it to a bigger booze company. So it's like very far removed at this point. But
I talked to them. They were supposed to do a big thing at the Amsterdam Museum before it got taken over by these fucking idiots. But
who owns it now?
Who owns what?
The Amsterdam Museum.
No, there is none.
Gone?
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. But hopefully Hank will do another one.
Do it, Hank. I've
Well,
met
see
Hank
that-
a million times. He doesn't
Right.
remember me,
Right.
but yeah.
Oh, the Jewish guy.
No, I was in a squat house the last time I was in Amsterdam
Oh,
for some show, and there he was, and I was like, I went up and talked to him. I said, I'm,
Yeah, well, no
I'm
fucking
Eric
party.
Perfect's friend from Philly. You know, he's like, oh, yeah.
That'll get you with
I was like, well, that was random.
yeah, that's
I
great.
hit you up. I was like, I just saw Hank in a squat house.
That's awesome. But you know, like, look, dude, you know, he's as fucking punk rock as they come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, from the fucking beginning. Him and Louise, you know. I mean, she was a little fucking punk rock chick running around the streets of Amsterdam being crazy too, you know. But yeah, I mean, like, it's so crazy how all this it all just fits right
It all
together.
starts somewhere.
And you know, a lot of it started with fucking tattoos.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of it started with tattoos because that's like the common denominator. If you went to a show and someone was had a cool tattoo, you would sit and talk about your
Of course,
tattoos.
yeah.
You know?
That doesn't happen anymore. I don't even. Do you?
No.
Do you stop in shops that you don't know when you go places?
It
Or you're like, oh,
depends.
tattoo shop. I'm gonna
It,
stop
it
in.
depends on the presentation.
Stop doing that. Yeah. If it's like
depends
a
on the
classic
presentation.
looking shop,
If it's a
I'll
fucking
walk
dildo
in.
shop, forget it, dude. I'm fucking gone.
I walk. It's crazy.
There's too many of them.
You know,
There's just too many of them.
in the '90s, I would, if I was somewhere and I saw a tattoo shop, I would stop in a fucking junkyard in Tennessee because it said tattoo on it, and I would start talking to the junkyard
We
guy.
went to this
You
fucking
know?
place. We were on our way back from. We were going from New Mexico to Philly, and in the middle of fucking Indiana somewhere, it's a truck stop tattoo. We're like, no fucking way.
Yeah, like, we gotta see what's
Eventually we
happening
get
here.
there, it's just like some pimply faced kid, you know, in this hot fucking little room on top of a, you know, where the fucking truckers shower. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, and it was just, you know, it was just crazy. But we, you know, we had to see what was going on. You know, if you see shit like that, you gotta fucking check it out.
Right.
But it's just kind of tough these because there's so fucking many of them.
There's so many,
But by
yeah.
now it's like I've been to so many fucking places. I know where to fucking go in that city.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Where I'm gonna find a friendly face. Like I was just commenting today. Like this time back in 2016, I was in fucking Germany getting my
Get
surgery
your
done.
neck, yeah.
And all I had to do, as soon as I got to the fucking hospital there, I put up on either Facebook or Instagram, hey, I'm in Bremen. Who's a friend here? Boom, my boy Juan fucking steps up, and this other dude Swan. Fucking now, they're my fucking boys now, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
that's the fucking ticket, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, you know, that's the shit that connects you to people, man. And that's like, you know, I got a fucking group of people if I go there, you know, and then Louise's friend Suzuki fucking lives there, and she's a killer tattooer, you know what I mean? And she owns like this vegan Japanese place. It's fucking awesome, you know what I mean? So that, like, one little trip, like, I got my neck fixed, and I fucking made a bunch of friends and had some killer food, you know what I mean?
How long
It
were you
was
in the
awesome.
hospital over there?
A month.
Holy shit.
It was about a week in, you know, with the hospital, and then after that they transfer you over to this like 5-star fucking hotel. You got your PT in the morning and shit, all that shit, and then they want you walking around. This place is fucking beautiful that they have you. Like the grounds on there, and they have you walking around and, you know, getting your shit together. But, you know, after a certain point in the day, man, it was just fun. I was worn, you know.
Well, yeah, you just had neck surgery.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking
Scary
it was pretty
shit.
crazy.
You did that twice, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, fuck that.
Getting close to a third.
Are you?
Yeah,
So
We'll see.
is it the same surgery?
of course it is.
So it doesn't work?
It does work, but it only works for so long.
Oh my
Because
god.
other shit starts fucking breaking down.
What,
So, gotta
once you
replace
open up that can of worms of surgery,
I had to.
Yeah.
I had to.
Well,
it was
yeah.
either that or I blew my brains out.
Yeah. It
So-
just seems like everything goes downhill, you know?
It's alright. You see me, I got a smile on my face whenever
Yeah,
you
of
see me.
course.
I'm
Yeah.
doing just fine, man. You know, you gotta take the good with the bad, dude. Fuck it. That's your life in a nutshell. You know?
Our drummer broke his foot when we were second
The
show.
ECW one.
No,
Was that Ant-Man fucking broke his ankle.
That did happen.
Yeah.
when we were in Germany, Mike Beer broke his second show of a 22 show tour.
What show?
It was in
Or
France
no,
somewhere.
what shoe? Put it that way. What foot?
His well, he plays with his right foot, but
That ain't good.
no, and he's like, it was like a suplex going wrong. He landed it. We were like, and he's like, my foot, you know, and we're like, you go. But the next day, his foot's definitely. You're looking at it, you're like,
It's like,
yeah. And you know, Schlag's fucking, you'll be fine. Fucking drink some milk, you know.
Then he finished the tour, didn't he?
Well, he went to the hospital in Germany the next day because he played another show with the fucking broken foot. He's like, I can't play right now. Go to no, they're like, he's like, I got travelers
I'll
insurance.
have you know,
Yeah.
I'll have you know that I'm ambidextrous.
Oh,
So if that were to happen to me,
you would be right back with the left.
You know what I mean? No time in between. Wrap that motherfucker up and let's get back on the road, boys.
Well, we are in a hospital in Germany. He's like, I have traveler's insurance. They're like, yeah, we don't know what that is and we don't really
They don't
care.
give two shits, yeah.
He's like, well, we're like, what are we gonna fucking do? They're like, we're only taking cash. You know, you're from America. We're not gonna trust your credit card. We're like, fuck, dude. Like, what? So after an hour of him on the phone with the insurance company, this and that, we're like, fuck. You know, for some reason, it took an hour to just be like, all right, how much is this gonna cost us? And they're like, you know, $80.
How dare you?
Oh,
Yeah.
you know, we're like, what the fuck? Yeah. So, and then he
You aren't an American.
he got the cast, you know, and that's because we're Americans. They're charging us $80. You know, we got to pay full price. You know?
Yeah.
So he got the cast on.
That shows you how
He
much.
plays
how
the rest of the
it really
tour
is.
like a champ, but he was psyched just to be like, I told you I broke my foot. You know, I told you it was. And Schlag's like, they said fractured. I don't think they. You know.
Yeah, but look at Schlag.
Yeah.
Okay. That dude, he's just a human scar tissue.
We had to go. We were
Can
late.
you imagine trying to operate on that fuck?
Well, we went to a hospital
You
in
need a
London.
jackhammer.
Yeah, and he needed stitches really bad. We're going from London to Germany, and we had to be in Germany the next day. And we were playing the Wacken Festival with like fucking Iron Maiden, Twisted Sister.
Shit,
Yeah.
that's huge.
So we're not missing
We're
it.
trying to get on that Hellfest next year.
Did you see the line? It's the lineup.
So
The
good.
article came out and said Hellfest lineup
So
announced,
good.
and it's basically everybody.
Everybody.
That's what the
That's
article
everyone.
said. Yeah,
It is everyone.
It is. Well, it's half it's sold out already
Of course.
because they're
All I know
rehabbing.
is
They're
this,
having it for 2 weeks.
You know someone's
Yeah.
going to drop off.
Well, they'll have side stages and shit.
There's shit. That's what. There's a ton of them.
Yeah,
So I got her working on it. A good Jewish girl.
yeah.
And,
That's I want to just go as a spectator. I don't,
No, I wanna
even if I
fucking play.
well, of course you will. I
Fuck
want
you.
to fucking play. You know.
play motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Megadeth and shit.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And dude, we at walking. Well, on the way there, we needed to go to a hospital because the London show got pretty bad. Schlag needed stitches in his head. I needed stitches in my hand.
Never heard of
we-
super glue, you fucking
Well,
pussies?
we get to the hospital and it's closed. They're like, "Oh, it's closed for the night." We're like, "Oh, well, great. We're getting on." Dude, I'll have to. I wish you could see. So we have Schlag's head wrapped up with towels and it's bleeding through the towels. Like,
Yeah.
And we had.
He's got something right in his head there. If he cuts it, just fucking like a
Yeah.
feng shui shit.
Well, that happened, and we so we got on the ferry like that. We're just kept putting new towels and shit on. My hands fucking bleeding.
He's getting woozy.
On our way to walking. This is how we're rolling it. 20-hour drive, right?
Yeah.
And it was hurry up and play. We got there. We were the next fucking band on. It was like
God bless you.
close call.
You guys went over like a motherfucker too.
Yeah, it was fun, and so walking it's like the whole town. So they have
I
this.
love to play walking too.
Dude, it was amazing. And they have this hotel where the bands stay. It's just the whole hotel's bands, and the bar is open 24 hours. And the whole hotel is sponsored by Jägermeister. Well, you can walk down the hall and like, oh, Jägermeister, here we go.
Yeah.
So we get done, we eat, and we're back at the hotel.
It used to be like the old tattoo conventions.
Yeah, right.
Shit
It was
everywhere.
like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's exactly how.
So I'm like, oh, I can't. We're gonna hang out in the fucking hotel bar all night, just fucking party,
Yeah. Party
We
till
sat
12.
there till 4 in the fucking morning,
Fucking blows pretty good.
watching bands just walk in and go up to their fucking rooms, and we're like, we know. It was like the whole fucking dreams are shattered. We're just like,
Yeah.
no one is gonna party at this hotel bar except us.
Well, put it this way, not the main acts aren't, all the fucking...
They were all staying there.
You know?
Why-
You know what
why
I'm saying?
not
You know
though?
all the fucking jabronis are hanging.
In my head, the main acts are all gonna get together and hang out after at the hotel.
Fucks,
They
dude.
are, dude.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they fucking drop more fucking coke than you ever did in your life.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So,
So,
they've been through their shit, you know? And it all comes back to tattooing. Like, you wouldn't have any of these fucking, most of these contacts, we wouldn't have any of these contacts if it wasn't for tattooing and traveling and fucking going all over the
it's
world.
definitely, yeah. It's a,
You know what I'm saying? It's like you always fucking know someone somewhere, dude. You know, my customers constantly hit me up. They're like, yo, I'm in so-and-so. Who do you know there? And I'm like, I know someone there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's been anywhere someone's asked me that I couldn't fucking tell them to go see a friend of mine there.
Now, do you think a young tattooer, do you think, we come from like, it was like a tight-knit group of people our age from every, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Do you think they have the same thing nowadays?
Some of them do, but like I think a lot of these art school, you know, nerds kind of stick to themselves. They're kind of loners and shit. These are the guys that work 3 days a week. You know what I mean? Like they're real. They're way more introspective. You know what I mean? They don't put themselves out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause there's not like, you used to know who the fuck was who.
Well, anything tattoo related that would happen, we were there. We're
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I guess we're going to Amsterdam for the
Yeah,
fucking,
fucking right,
yeah, I
dude.
guess we're going to, you know, they're here this
But
week.
now there's 10 fucking different conventions there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
that's
it's
why
like,
I'm wondering if it's still, it can't
You
be
know,
a tight-knit fucking circle.
I
like
think
it
it's
was,
just
you
still
know?
like us tight knit guys that like fucking show up places to fucking, you know, to catch up with each other. You know what I mean? That's what a lot of that is, you know. And man, motherfuckers are still partying out there. You know what I mean?
Richmond Tattoo Convention is like that.
I'll tell you
They
what,
keep
dude.
that
Never
reunion.
went to that convention.
Oh, it's still
I
good.
never liked that fucking Billy Eason, and I was
Yeah.
just like, fuck that guy.
Well, now,
He was a non-tattooer that owned tattoo shops and ran conventions and was just like a dickhole to fucking tattooers. Like, fucking fuck you, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not down with that.
I never
dude.
had any real interactions with him except for just seeing him at the Richmond convention.
Man, I just saw how he acted and shit, you know, and he would cheat on his old
I
lady.
know
and
at
shit.
the end,
His old
Eddie
lady
did
was a
not
good
like
tattooer.
Really?
And she was a younger chick, you know, a little heavy set or whatever, but whatever, nice girl. And he's like fucking around on her. Like, what is wrong with you, dude? Like, I don't like that shit, dude. It fucking bothers me. You know, step up and be a man. Tell her to fucking roll. And then you roll out of there. Let her fucking have a life. Don't fucking be doing shit like that. I hate that shit, dude.
Well, they got it, you know, they got it going on pretty good down there right now. If
I
they
heard
ever
the
have it
fucking,
again.
I mean,
you know.
people tell me the fucking convention's dead as a fucking door.
Oh, I think it's good.
Is it? I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just.
And I'm nobody. It's like I show up and I do a lot of tattoos, you
No
know.
fuckers know you, Jay.
Not,
Come on,
not,
it's
not at a
big
convention
shit.
where it's all superstars. You know, it's all. I'm not on. You know, I'm not an ink master.
You don't need to be. You know what I mean? Just need to be nice to people.
Yeah.
You know, that's the selling point. Saying hello to someone.
Mhm.
Hey, how you doing today?
Hey, how's it going?
What can I help you with?
Okay, stop.
That'll
telling-
fucking always
Look,
get you.
Stop giving away wrestling secrets.
They know it. They know
Okay.
it already. Believe me. There's a YouTube channel with all that on it.
Of how to say hi to customers.
Yeah, how to say hello
Yeah.
to someone. You know, God forbid they use it though.
Mhm.
But hold on. So, where do you see tattooing going in the future? Do you think there's a revival of coolness, or is it just going to go down the shitter, or what do you do you have any predictions?
It's hard to say because I'm not young and don't know if how you know it's like how does like a 15-year-old look at tattoos? Do they think it's cool because you know, well, your kid's a tattooer, but it's like
Yeah, but the other one could give a fuck less.
right, and it's like
It'll probably end up going the same way it has. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
Um,
I hope it keeps going. Like I think it's just gonna go in waves. It's just and you know what else I think? This day and age with the internet and stuff, I think commercial property's fucked. Okay, and I think in a commercial space, the only thing you can put in there is something in the service industry, which is a fucking hair salon or a restaurant or a tattoo shop or one or a coffee shop, a coffee shop, and
Yeah.
that's really the only thing people are gonna. They're not gonna go shopping at a fucking retail store. I mean,
Retail's dead.
it's
dude.
done. Amazon is.
Retail is
So
fucking dead as a doornail.
It's where is it gonna go? It's just gonna keep going, fucking multiplying like gremlins. It's gonna be like.
Well, you would probably see a lot of this commercial real estate turn into fucking residential because there's a huge.
It's
need
gonna
for
have
it.
to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, but until then,
That's what
there's
they were
gonna be
talking
more
about
and
at the
more
museum.
fucking open areas, and kids are gonna go, oh, I want a tattoo, so I'll just rent that store and tattoo. Like that's where it's already gone. Let's face it.
We're there. Yeah,
There's
we're
no.
there.
Philly was such a hard place to get into, and there was a lot of like biker politics and shit that you had to be a part of, and it's.
They're still fucking,
It's just private studios, and it doesn't matter.
Because like I'm looking for one person, and I can't even find one fucking guy.
Yeah, because why,
And you guys need a job.
Is it busy? I'll come out.
Yeah. Yeah, if I could count on someone like that, like if I could count on 3 dudes that wanted to work in shifts like that, I would do it in a minute.
Mm.
Or if I could book, guest artists throughout the fucking whole year like that to take that spot,
Well, the guest art is good because, with the more this shit goes, the more people are going to start traveling and going to shops,
So people don't. So people they like a lot of these kids. They do this shit like it's a 9 to 5 fucking job. They don't work more than 4 days a week.
No.
They don't know what a 5 or 6 day work week is. You know what I mean? Like it's tough to get someone to work 5 fucking days now, dude.
Well,
You know?
everyone's, the whole world's becoming.
Look, and when
like
you
lazy.
own the place, whether you're tattooing or not, it's 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
7 days a fucking week, 365,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no getting around it.
Right.
If that fucking alarm goes off, guess who's got to fucking go to the shop and deal with it? You know what I mean? This goes on, who's got to go there? You do. Who's got to do this? You do. You know what I mean? You're the motherfucker that needs to show up.
Yeah.
So.
I enjoy just working with, as long as the people that I work with have a good time and we have, a nice place
I
to
just
work
can't
together.
stand. I can't
it's
stand
like-
complaining.
Yeah.
Fuck you got to complain about? You're a
Right.
tattooer, you dick.
Well,
You know what I mean? What are you complaining about? You got to lay for Riley.
some people don't. The grass is always greener. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether you have to be 11 or 12 o'clock, what fucking job can you just fucking party all night, wake up at like 10:30, and then get there within 15, 20 minutes because you're in Philly, because everything's 15, 20 minutes away from each other here, and fucking be at work.
Yeah.
And then you work a fucking day. You can basically, however much you want to hustle is how much you can make. You know what I mean? Like you want to line yourself up 5 tattoos that day, you can. You want to line yourself up with 15 tattoos that day, you can. You know what I mean? Like people have it so fucking good and they don't realize it.
Well, and when you travel, you get to see cities. Tattooers are like being in like a rock band. You're seeing the city in the right way. You're
For
with
sure.
other tattooers
For
showing you
sure,
around
for
instead
sure.
of just going into tourist.
Yeah. I don't mind the touristy shit though either. If you really want to see like the history of a city, do the touristy shit. You'll find out what the fuck's going on. So, but you're getting that. You're getting the meaty part of the tour though. From the people that live there, especially someone like me that knows the history of the fucking city and shit.
Yeah,
Dude.
you get to see where the real shit's happening.
Yeah. But even that gets tiring, you know what I mean? Having fucking people come in, it's like you've done it 1,000 times already, and you gotta do it 1,001 times, this time, so.
When we go on tour with the band, it's like, you're playing a show, you're leaving the place at 2, 3 in the morning.
Of course.
Right. So then you're driving to wherever you're going after that, and wherever
around
you
3,
get
4, 5 in the
to,
morning.
they want to fucking party with you,
Yeah.
and then you're waking up at 8 to fucking do that again. And
Drive.
it's like, when the fuck am I ever gonna sleep? Honestly,
Well, that's why that's
why
the whole point of
cocaine,
having,
yeah.
cocaine and another driver.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, my cocaine days are long since
mine are
passed,
too. I've ruined my fucking nose. Yeah.
Between the nose and heart,
Mhm.
there ain't much left, so.
And I remember the first Eat the Turnbuckle tour. We're in the middle. We rented this minivan. It was all pimped out. Had like rope lights and shit inside. And we're in the middle of fucking nowhere, and we're listening to Sirius, and Howie's show came on, and in the middle of his show, you know, he's playing like, you know,
Sun Ra.
he's like
Sun Ra and
like,
Radio Birdman.
and then he's like, and then this is for my boys and Eat the Turnbuckle who are in the fuck on tour right now, you know, and we were like, we thought it was the coolest fucking thing ever, you know. That's like,
he knew.
other than like being on a fucking like college radio, you know.
Yeah, of course.
That's like serious. It's like we're like, oh, we're on the fucking radio. This is crazy.
I get a kick out, man, when I fucking hear my songs on the fucking radio.
So cool.
Or Comcast, like the Comcast Music Channel.
Well, I would
like,
hear
holy
your
shit.
songs on 91.7 all the time. I was never hearing my songs on anything.
Well, you know. They still play a bunch of our shit. They even play the new stuff, the Lisa Cray Superstar stuff, man. They play that stuff, the Workhorse stuff. They play Heels. I mean, I'm in enough bands that at this
You need
point,
a couple more.
Yeah. So you know, so you get some plays, but I sure shit don't get paid for it, you know.
No.
And that's another thing, you know. If you don't fucking really love this, man, you gotta just fuck off. You know what I mean? Like you gotta really love this thing, because it can really fucking hurt you.
Well, another thing is I wonder, how do people do this if they're not tattooers? Because tattooing, I can just go. I can just work wherever the fuck I want to. You know, it's like, if you can't, I don't know how a normal 9-to-5 job person would be able to go on tour.
They can't.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. They could go on tour for like a week, but you can't go
know,
like,
unless you're in the like entertainment industry where you're
you
a
have to
fucking
be in it.
gaffer or some shit. And, you know, you set shit up or whatever.
you have to do it because you like it, and then once it starts to get serious, it turns into a whole different world. Then it's like, oh shit, I gotta quit my job, probably, for most people, you know?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, man.
Where tattooing, you don't have to.
Nope. You get the best of fucking a
Goes
few different
hand in
worlds,
hand,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? So,
Sure, it makes it easy.
now, with that being said, so you have invested in certain shops, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get involved with Raw Power? How does this happen? I don't even know this fucking story.
Well, Ed, I had here's the truth. You ready, Ed?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, I had an art show in New York, and it was a blast. We all went up there, fucking, you know, it was like whatever. Ed meets some girl at the show.
Yeah, but let me do a precursor to this.
Uh-huh.
This motherfucker does some really fucking cool paintings, dude. If you get a chance, check his shit out. What is your Instagram?
Jag13 Arts.
All right,
JAG13.
make sure you check out his artwork, man. And if you dig something that he has, buy the shit, dude, because he ain't doing it for his fucking
Thanks
health.
for the plug.
But yeah, I mean, if anybody deserves a fucking art exhibit, it's you. I mean, you're a real fucking artist. You know what I mean? You really do.
You know Sean Pierce from the Toilet Boys?
Yeah.
He set me up, you know, a show with me and
Fucking
him.
used to play with them all the time.
Dude,
Yeah.
he's the man. And he throws this wild after party. His wife threw the after party, you know, it was just like a real New York experience. We're like, oh, like fucking like Debbie Harry's there and shit. You know,
Nice.
you're like, well, this, yeah. So Ed Kess, who owns Raw Power, meets a girl there, and they, you know, fall in love, and then he's just like, all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, he's like living in New York, basically, and he's just
I remember
yeah,
that thing, because I fucking went to bat for him.
and he just was just like, I'm gonna get rid of my shop and just move to New York, and I'm like, dude, you can't get rid of the shop. You know, it's your shop, and you're gonna, you know, whatever. So we get to talking.
You can tell him he's gonna regret something until you're blue in the face, and he's just gonna do it.
And he is an old friend of mine, and you know, I'm not gonna let him throw his shop away. So we get to talking, and he just wants to sell it to me. He's like, I'll just sell it to you and whatever. I was like, okay, well, I'll tell you what, you're not gonna sell it to me. I'll buy it, because at this point he needed money because New York is expensive, and you know, fucking whatever. He just stopped paying the bills at the shop, and because he thought he was closing it. You know?
Sure.
So I was like, I'll buy it, and I'm just going to be 50% owner, because it's going to turn around, and you're going to be upset that you sold it. So that's where we're at. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, are you
After
working
it,
up
you
there
know,
at all, or what are you
yeah,
doing?
I work up there on Saturdays. I mean, it's like, you know,
Like, fuck it.
that was my day off, and now I'm working in the wrong way.
Right.
It's like,
So you have that, and then I guess he was dicking around with these toys or whatever. Fucking
He
you guys
is,
open
yeah.
it, and you guys open a toy store.
well,
now?
I'm not partners in the he
You
opened the
don't-
toy
he
store,
opened
yeah,
that,
next
okay.
to the shop,
Gotcha.
which is it's pretty cool. I mean, have you been up there yet? Did you have toys? You had a comic book store.
Of course, I got
right?
tons of toys.
So you're in the biz.
I'm not in the biz.
You're in
I
the
just-
biz.
I have a ton of toys.
Why don't
doesn't
you
mean
go
I'm
sell
in the
them
biz.
some toys?
As soon as he comes over and apologizes.
Yeah. Oh, did you have a falling out?
There was no falling out. He knows what he did.
All right. Well, that's where he's at now. He's making toys.
He can be a man and fucking say he's sorry, and then we'll be cool.
Okay.
That's all it
whatever
takes.
you did, Ed.
That's all it
between you.
takes.
Yeah.
I sorry. That's it. That's all it takes, dude.
Tattooers are so emotional. And
Not
they all-
emotional.
and
Facts are fact, dude.
Everyone has
And you fucking pull some shit, you gotta fucking man up.
Okay.
You know, it's pretty fucking simple, dude.
So
You know what I mean? That's all. Not a big deal. I'm not making a big stink. I'm just.
you're making a very big stink.
It is what it is,
Okay.
you know.
So, yeah.
But yeah, I would have went over there gladly when it was open. But
We played the opening. It was fun.
yeah, I
Yeah.
would have went over. But that's how I roll. So
All right, I'm gonna pass the message along.
fuck him.
You
Man. You
two
know
are
what
gonna
he
make
knows
up.
the
You're gonna
message.
kiss and make
He
up.
knows what he needs to do.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? So, all he has to do is get up off his fat ass and fucking stop by and fucking, you know, that's all he has to do.
All right.
It's real simple. It's super simple, you know?
Okay. Saturday when I'm up there, you're gonna come up with me.
I'm not going to do anything. On a Saturday, I'm off
All
Saturday.
you have to do is
For
come
that
up with
fucking-
me. And I'm actually not gonna.
For that Michigan? No.
My wife is hairstyling a video shoot Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
For who? Do you know who? Is it anybody, or
Right.
is it just...
No, it's some old like washed up fucking early '90s like rockers.
Really?
I don't.
Is it like Dandelion or
It's like
something?
Candlebox or something. Like
Oh, really?
yeah, I don't know who.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but it's if you want to come with me, they're shooting a like show scene at this barbecue place.
Why?
I you know what? My friend James is doing the video, so he just called her up to style
really?
it. Yeah, and James Callahan, I'll give him a shout out because he did the last Bad Luck video. It came out fun, you know. So that's what I'm going to do Saturday.
Good.
If you want to join me.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what's up. Look, I'm glad you finally fucking sat down
Yes.
with me. We had a chance to chew the fat here.
Mhm.
I mean, look, you know, it's tattoo history, yes, but all this shit is all fucking meshed together. This is our lives. This is the fucking life that we live. And sometimes it gets pretty fucking crazy. Sometimes it's fucking boring as fuck too. But man, we've had a good fucking run so far. You know, we got some years left, and we'll see where it fucking
We're
takes
still
us,
around,
you know?
still kicking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming
Dude,
through.
thanks for having
Remember,
me
Jason
over.
Goldberg,
Yeah.
and what are you on Instagram? Jag.
Jag13 Bad Luck.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hit him up and yeah, tell him Eric Perfect sent you.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, Eric.